Everyone. We've just published an article on CitaDAO Tokenomics, and I thought I'll do a walkthrough of this real quick here. CitaDAO is a really interesting project trying to bring real estate on chain. It's been done a few times, I guess, and with me walking through this, you'll see how this time might be different. So, to me, the most important thing is really that they're doing this on Ethereum and are creating ERC20 tokens, and these can then be embedded and included in DeFi and a lot of other things. So you get farm yield with your real estate, right, and get additional returns from that. Anyway, I'm currently working on a second piece, trying to get into the details of that, but maybe let's walk through this. So CitaDAO is launching the Night token. I'm not sure if this is already happened while I'm recording this, but yeah, the idea is really that you have a piece of real estate somewhere, and they're launching this in multiple countries, kind of or Commonwealth countries. They're starting off with a commercial building. I think it's like a shopping mall in Cardiff in the UK. The target price is something around 22 million, and yeah, so they've invested that piece, and if they try to bring something like that on chain, they will talk to the landlord and the seller, investigate the property with a lawyer, and do all the background checks before the whole process starts. When that is done, then that's when things will happen sort of on the blockchain, right? So there's this commit pool that has the target somewhat of around, I think 21 or 22 million. And then users, they can actually stake USDC, commit that into the pool. And so by that, well, yeah, they would contribute to purchasing that. And if it then goes on chain, so if this community purchases this property, they would get a share of these tokens then of that property into their wallet. And while staking, that's an interesting thing. So typically, a commission is paid to the agent when selling a piece of real estate. In this case, the agent or the the landlord or the seller can decide to actually give out a reward to the community who stake their tokens, right? So for the time of committing to this pool, users who commit funds, they will actually receive tokens, or they will actually receive a reward. Yeah, that's typically around this commission that used to be paid. Yeah, and the rewards that are paid out then to the users, they're based on the proportion that they hold in the pool. Anyway, so this whole process is called IRO, that stands for Introducing Real Estate on Chain. And once that's done, let's say we've reached that target state of 22 million, then this process is complete, and the property, let's say this shopping mall, is introduced or is transferred into the title. It's transferred into a legal entity, a special purpose vehicle here. And yeah, so that's then who holds this in the physical world is this SPV. And the SPV also holds an NFT. So this real estate NFT. And that's really a cool use case for an NFT. So we buy this piece of real estate, this shopping mall, and once it's purchased, we mint an NFT, and this SPV, this special purpose vehicle, legal entity, holds that NFT. And what then happens is, based on the amounts that users have contributed to the commit pool, they will receive a fractionalized pieces of that NFT in the form of ERC20 tokens. They call it RET tokens, so the real estate tokens. So users, based on their percentage that they've committed to the pool of the total purchasing price, they will then receive pieces of that NFT as ERC20 RET tokens. And they then own a piece of real estate. And this SPV will not only create this NFT and distribute it, but it will also take care of property management. So there's going to be proper property managements that would like to deal with or take care of the property, and that's all done via this SPV. So there'll be proposals that will all be they'll take the cheapest one. They'll look into the rent, the operating cost, and other fees, and select for the best option here for that particular piece of property. And this whole process, this will be executed for every single property that is brought on chain, right? So a user can really decide which property he wants to hold or invest in, right? So at the end, we'll have this RET token is really specific to a unique property. It's not just one RET token. There'll be a RET token for this shopping mall in Cardiff, but if they buy a piece of, I don't know what property in Singapore, then there'll be a different RET token for that. And this RET token can basically then be traded on exchanges like Uniswap and SushiSwap. So if a user doesn't like the property anymore, they can just sell it on Uniswap, right? And this is really where it gets interesting, where this whole liquidity concept is introduced, right? So just think about it. As a normal person, it's really hard to buy into a single piece of property, right? Unless you load up with debt or you have a ton of money, you cannot really do that. So if you like this shopping mall, or you like this other commercial building or residential or whatever, you like it, usually you do not have a chance to buy a portion of that. There's real estate investment trusts, REITs, kind of as ETFs, and you can buy into those, but they typically contain a load of different properties. So you cannot buy one single one. And I've in the article, put this analogy in that it's as if you were only able to buy ETFs but not stocks. So this is a really, really cool thing, right? So you can trade these RET tokens, you can buy them on the market ideally, and CitaDAO is going to incentivize providing that liquidity here, I guess. And by purchasing these RET tokens off the market, and they do that based on the rental yields. So this commercial property that will yield rent, and they will then take that rent, and the SPV will buy tokens off the market, and then these tokens will then be taken out of circulation. So creating a natural demand for tokens. So that's that. And then what also happens, I mean, CitaDAO is a DAO. They have a treasury, and an interesting concept that they've introduced. You know, they're gonna they're basically the entity behind all this, behind all these real estate on-chain things. You know, they've got a strong pipeline. They'll bring, I don't know, they've planned for, I think, the first half year in 2022 to bring 6 properties, and then they've got way more that they want to bring on chain later on. And what they do, they take a 2% of these real estate tokens as listing fee, basically, right? So they make sure that this NFT gets fractionalized into RET tokens, and they take 2% of these as listing fee and put them into their own treasury. Now, what we haven't talked about is their own token, the CitaDAO Night token. And this Night token then gives holders governance, right? So they can participate in governance, vote on certain stuff that represent kind of development of the platform, things like that. But also what that means, if the treasury collects 2% of every property that is brought on chain, it's kind of a really diversified holding that you then have with that token. So if they have 10 properties on chain, and if the treasury doesn't vote or decide to sell them, then your Night token would basically represent holding of a lot of these RET tokens. And yeah, like I said, I'm working on a piece that's going into the detail of the future of all this, and that's going to be really interesting. You know, that you can think of like complete index funds that are created on chain. There could be other ways to use this token so that maybe token holders could, by staking them, use the property. Maybe there's like some shared office spaces, and by you holding it, you'd be allowed in there. There's a lot of different ideas that the team is exploring. And I mean, since it's open, this token is out there, you can trade it. It's not just limited to what CitaDAO does. Anybody can take these tokens and build something really interesting on top. So this is a super cool concept, and by making it open and integrating it into the DeFi world, I think this has a lot of potential. Anyway, I'll link to the article and stuff like that in the down below, and hope you like this. Thanks.